I hope you're well. Today I have a King Seiko that is actually in very good condition underneath this crystal. The bezel is not pressed on properly, and yeah, it's the way you would like to buy them. Original crown, good case back medallion. This is November 1965, so quite deep engravings on the reference on the case back. That's nice. This one has such a nice dial. I would like to clean it up and give the case a light polish just to bring it a little bit back to match the dial. Movement wise, I've already opened this and had a look when I got it. It's been in my drawer for a few years now. It's going to be a quick service video. Might cut some corners in the filming. I do have a more in-depth service of one of these in my channel. If somebody wants to look, it's a two-part thing, but this one will just be a quick go through. This one even has a serial number. Rumors say it that the serial numbers mean higher quality, grade, whatever. I'm not sure, but definitely a nice watch. So I'm going to take this apart in time lapse, and we'll put parts of it back together in real time and maybe time lapse some of the other stuff. The movement has been cleaned, and I've fitted the shock protection jewels on the balance bridge. You gotta love these Seiko balance bridges, very cool. Also very nice for 60s watch is the jeweled barrel arbors. Really, really nice details, as it does save you rebushing those. Now I'm going to take the balance off again, and so we can fit the gear train. So this watch is actually currently my own watch, which I've found time to finally service. You'll see later that I gave the case a little bit of a polish because it was absolutely hammered, and I would say I can see improvement in the polishing. It's not 100% yet, but it's definitely better. So you can get the edges sharper than when you started. That's definitely on the right path. That's one thing you don't want to see in case polishing, is when you just round off all the edges and features, and yeah, you know what, that's not what we're trying to achieve here. I'll put a little bit of oil in here as well. This is where the setting lever pin goes, or setting lever screw in this case. We can pop the barrel back in. Oh no, we can't. That's very, very optimistic. I think we got to start with the center wheel here. We'll pop that in, or put the bridge in place that goes on top of that. Its own little construction. That goes there, and try and keep this in focus. There's always a bit of light from where I sit, so if I adjust the camera, that might be better for the light reflection. Let's see. Anyway, we're securing the little bridge that holds the center wheel in place, so the second wheel in the gear train. Now we can fit the barrel. It goes in here. Just a little droplet of oil. Again, the barrel bridge is jeweled as well. Absolutely love it. Such a nice feature. Both Citizen and Seiko were quite early on this. Look at the late 60s higher jeweled Citizens. They're also jeweled in the barrel. I don't think Rolex started with that before a few years later. There you go. Right, now we can secure the barrel bridge, at least partly. There's a special screw here that goes with the hacking lever, so we'll do that later on. Now I'm going to fit the gear train. You have the third wheel goes through this bridge into the gauges low jewel underneath. Then we have an escape wheel, comes here. These two jewels are capped on the underside and will be on the top as well. I haven't fitted the cap jewels yet. I'll do that later when this is all secured. So on the center wheel, we're going to give it a little droplet of 9010 just there. And then we can fit the third gear train wheel in place. There's also the second driving wheel. This has a long pivot on the top because that's where we will secure our hacking lever disc later on. Now for the gear train bridge. So there the pivots have been lined up so I can secure the bridge. Nice. So see that the gear train moves. We'll test that further on when we've fitted the keyless works. At this point, I'm going to fit the crown wheel. The crown wheel is the intermediate winding wheel. That has its own little steel core. purpose of that is to protect the brass that it otherwise would be leaning up against. It's quite important. Another nice thing about it, if it's ever worn, it's a replaceable part. This is a left-hand screw, so I just got to get it in the right angle there. It should secure. Like so. One thing I really like on these King Seikos is the amount of detail that's gone into the ratchet wheel. They are absolutely beautifully made. There you can see the movement moving freely, so that's good. But look at that ratchet wheel. You have a high gloss domed finish going in. You have starburst here, and you have a high gloss beveled finish going along the teeth. Very nice. At this point, I'm going to oil the gear train. So these 3 jewels, I've already done the underside because they're capped. And then I'm going to turn the movement around. We're going to start on the keyless work, so the winding and setting mechanism. So I do love these King Seikos, but I do wish they had spent a little bit more time finishing the dial side. As you can see, it's a little bit on the crude side of things, but it's tidy. It's not too bad. I'm not going to complain too much because they have jeweled it all, and that is actually more important than decoration. So see nicely decorated watches with worn bushings and barrels and whatnot. So I'd rather have a fully jeweled movement any day than fancy decoration. So I guess some people will disagree with that, but that's my kind of take on it. There's the winding pinion. Here we got the sliding pinion. Whoops. Get that in straight, like so. Any sliding surface, give that a bit of grease. Just going to secure this. For that I need to turn the movement around and tighten the setting levers. Setting levers screw secured. Bit more grease on where the setting lever engages with the yoke. Where the yoke lever goes, we might as well grease it all up. There's the yoke. Now for the setting lever spring. Comes in here. Good to keep a bit of pegwood close by to help in case it wants to ping off. You can kind of catch it like so. There we go. And we might as well put a tiny bit of grease where the spring engages with the yoke as well, just for good measure. I usually start with it, but I didn't this time, but I'll do it now. A little drop of oil there for the cannon pinion, the clutch pinion that will allow you to set the time without stopping the movement. This is a hacking lever, but you don't exert too much force. Well, it makes it possible to wind it, basically. If you didn't have a clutch, you'd ruin your gear train because you'd be pushing against the pallet. Drop brittle oil in here. Very nice, tiny little jewel in there. Not something you see every day for that kind of construction with the intermediate hour wheel. So that's, again, thumbs up for that. And we have the intermediate setting wheel here. So post should this fall in place, like so. Perfect. Glad to see the setting lever springs in good order. Sometimes these can be a bit fragile and snap, not in this case, so that's good. And give that a little bit of grease to allow it to slide easier. Then we have a little covering cock bridge thing that holds the intermediate setting wheels in place. That has a nice little screw. Okay, you can see here you have the setting lever. Setting lever is kind of the position winding or setting is determined by the little notch on the setting lever spring. But if we pull the stem out, it's gonna see how that's engaging with the yoke. So that pushes the yoke up. Because it's notched into place here, it will stay there. And you can set the time. There's no pallet fork, so the movement, the gear train is happy to move with the setting mechanism. So I'm not going to do too much of that. Now if I push the crown back in, the setting lever spring will push the yoke, or the sliding pinion, into the winding pinion. And with that, we'll be able to wind the movement. Does not sound like it's engaging properly, so we'll have to investigate. The reason it's not engaging is because I waited with fitting this screw, which is the screw for the hacking lever. That goes with a bridge holding screw. So I'll just fit the hacking lever screw for now. And I'll have to loosen this later on when I'm fitting the movement, because to remove the stem you got to take the hacking lever off. That's why I did not fit it right now. Now it's engaging correctly. But while we've turned it around, we might as well go to fitting the pallet fork. Pallet fork is the lever that opens and closes, that allows it's part of the regulating mechanism of how you time the release of the gear train. So the speed of the unwinding of the gear train and how that's connected to the hands is how it actually makes it a timekeeper. So there's the pallet in. Pallet has a little pallet bridge that secures that in place. As with the gear train, it's a good time to go and have a look under the microscope to see that everything lines up. Now that the pallet has been oiled, I think it's time to fit the balance assembly. So nice when it just starts ticking as you lift it in place, or you drop it into place. What if it stops though? This is a good start. Very nice. Okay, on the time graph. Let's have a look. Plus 10 seconds today. Not bad, not bad. 0.1 beat error. Very happy with that. In case you're wondering, on the lines here, the line here, the angle, and the time up here is telling you how the timekeeping is, what it's going to do in 24 hours. At the moment in this position it says plus 10 seconds, and the amplitude shows how many degrees the balance is swinging around. So 286 is very healthy, 291 even more healthy. You don't want to get it up more than 320 though, because then you're getting close for the impulse pin hitting the back of the pallet fork. So yeah, no, this is where you want it really. Plus 10 seconds a day is not bad. Usually what factories set their watches to. The beat error shows the resting point of the impulse pin, how close it is to the center of the pallet fork. So if that's completely off, it's not going to run right. So the closer that is, the better. So 0.1 degree off, that's as close as you're going to get it, pretty much. Happy with that. So let's put this dial up. Plus 5 seconds a day. A slight variation, but not much. Amplitude is just about the same, but happy with that. Let's do a sideways position. We're going to do the crown facing south, down. It will affect the amplitude because the balance is on its side. Like the timekeeping here, that's going to settle, I'm sure of it. Plus 3 seconds, even probably going to go -1. So overall, if you consider wearing this and different positions and whatnot, this is going to keep exceptionally good time. I'll put it back to dial down position. You can see that time is increasing again. So I'm going to leave it there. Very happy with that. Not so much more to do really. I'm going to fit the dial and hands and case to movement. The other thing I'm going to do is fit the hacking lever disc, which is press fit from the top. So we'll have a closer look at that when we case the movement. Okay, let's fit that hacking lever. First of all, we fit the stem. Tighten the stem screw. It's completely tightened now. We have this little washer. We have a core. And we have this lovely hacking lever comes on top here. If you look in the later models, you won't see this because it will be a different construction underneath the bridge. So they changed that mid-production about 1966, I think is when the new hacking lever came in. So you'll find this on the 64s and 65s. Secured and hacking lever engaged. Sort of takes a bit of time. There we go, engaged, working. Let that go and start sticking again. Very cool. Now let's find a new case back gasket for this. Scratch the last thing I said, no gasket today. I didn't have the right size, but I am going to, well, I have already ordered one and it will arrive tomorrow. So I'm just going to lightly fit the case back to prevent any dust coming in. But what a lovely movement, really good condition, performing fantastic. Again, I have ordered the case back, it will arrive tomorrow, so it will have a case back before it will be worn. I have lightly touched up the case on the top. I haven't touched the case back because everything's super sharp, and you can see how fine this engraving in the back here is. I really don't want to put any wear on that, and if you touch the medallion, you're just going to cut into it. So I'd rather not touch this area of the watch at all. The top bit got a light polish. I really didn't want to go overboard. It's important for me to preserve the facets and keep everything sharp. So if anything, it's a little bit sharper than when I started. So that's cool. With high gloss finish like this, it doesn't take long. Just you touch it with this, you get streaks and whatnot. So it's hard to actually show you what it looks like. Because every little speck of dust or streak from your glove looks like scratches, but it's actually very nice. I'm very happy with it. And again, I think getting the facets on the top sort of lugs and whatnot, that's the challenge. So I did spend a bit of time on it. On the bezel ring, I went very lightly on that. There's still a couple of nicks on it, but I really didn't want to risk losing this edge here. I'm still working on how I'm going to get this all right. So learning in process. I'm not unhappy with it, but it's not where I want it to be. It's about 85 to 90% there. But then again, it's all about, I haven't damaged the case. I haven't done anything irreparable. We've just gotten the worst of the deep scratches, and yeah, it really, this watch looks fantastic now. So I'm very happy with it. Set the time, and hacking lever works, as you can see. Push that in, starts ticking again. Dial in very good condition really. There's a bit of corrosion on one marker at 1 o'clock here. You can live with that, and there's a little bit of patina going around here. Crystal has a bit of defects in it, but then again it's 50 years old, so we'll live with that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out the website www.mitka.co.uk, just like the name of the channel, Mitka Watch. The website is mitka.co.uk. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, have a good one.